Okay, I said I was going to invite you on this journey. And so, two things I'm committed to is every time I do an engagement or an event, I'm going to share the process of preparation and post. And the second thing is that each week along the way, I'm going to share what I've learned. And I've already learned so much stuff. So I need to prepare for that a little bit more because I need to boil it down to what are the most important things. But I want to share with you today is the next day, day after my big launch, my big reveal of what I want to do with the rest of my life, which is to really focus on how can I become the best motivational speaker in the world, which for me means not receiving some award for that someday, but instead it means that's my dog. He's drinking his water right now. That's Mac. So what that means for me is that it's me asking the question, who would I have to become and what would I have to know to be able to achieve that? And so that's the mission that I'm on and that's the journey that I'm on. And the reason I'm doing it is not because of anything for me, but because I want to help as many people as I can. And the truth is I've got a pretty great life and I don't need to, I don't, the easy thing for me to do would be to sit right where I am and to not go after this. But I feel a calling, which is what I shared yesterday, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm doing it. And I'm grateful to be doing it. And it feels wonderful to be living into this calling. Yesterday, I worked 18 hours. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I worked till 9 o'clock last night. And I have been working on this particular thing for months and months. And so I'm just going to share a couple of results and then I'm going to share how I feel now, how I feel today. And then I'm going to share, no, I'm going to share some results. I'm going to share what happened sort of leading up to it. And then I'm going to share how I feel now. That's what I said I was going to do. You'll see my family walking around in the background because this is my real life. So the first thing on results, what is the data and then what are the feels of what this entire experience felt like? So the data, number of attendees, I don't have that data because unfortunately I did this through both LinkedIn and people were able to sign up to Zoom directly. There were 100 people signed up to attend off of two posts, which is just a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful for that. And then a whole bunch of people weren't able to show up in the Zoom, but they were able to listen. So if you were able to listen, thank you for being there. I'm sorry, I can't see who did that. It just does not tell me the data. So my big lesson learned is don't do events that way, or at least learn how to do them properly. So that's the thing. It resulted in a number of phone calls. I want to say I had 6 phone calls yesterday, and I had 4 connections directly of opportunities of speaking engagement. So I have 4 connections for that, plus more people that said they would be connecting with more. So I got to track that data. That was not a part of my follow up yesterday just yet, but I'm going to get there. Then, and I'll do better at that in the future in terms of capturing that so I can share it with you. The feels, that's what I have with today is really more for you is the feels. When I got off yesterday's call, my husband and I share an office together, and I stood up and I just cried more because it felt so great. It felt exactly like what it was supposed to be, and it felt like a message that I've been wanting to share for a really long time, and it just felt really great to just be on the other side of that, like in the best way. And I also felt probably a couple hours after the event, I started feeling the vulnerability hangover, as Brene Brown calls it, which is when you share things about yourself or parts of yourself that, you kind of wish you could take back, being an alcoholic. There were plenty of times the next day in the shower where you're like, oh my God, did I say that? What did I say? It's like that. That's what yesterday feels like. And that is an excellent leading indicator that I did it right, that I did it right for me. I am that person that is going to share the parts of myself that don't feel comfortable to share in service of other people. So I learned from Scott Mann once. I attended one of his speaking trainings. He's an excellent speaker, trainer, just excellent. And one of the things that he said was, when you share your story, like I have an issue where I feel like when I would feel like I'm sharing a story like it's about me. What he said is it's a gift to the other person because what you're doing when you share your story is you're creating psychological safety for the other person to process their story and their journey. And some of the feedback that I got yesterday was it touched all the parts of me, of my journey, of the listener, the person that was giving me that feedback. And I'm like, that's great, because that's what I wanted to do. Whenever I speak, I have some outcomes, very specific outcomes in mind. And some of those outcomes are that first of all, I want you to be entertained, because, and I feel like I wish every speaker, from my pastor to a breakout session that I'm attending to a class that I'm learning in, please keep me engaged, because I want to learn from you, but I have a really hard time staying interested. And so, please, I feel like it is the responsibility of us, the people that are teaching other people things, keep me engaged. However, you do that. I have a particular style of doing that. It's very different than the next person's style of doing that. But I feel like that's responsibility. So, did I keep you engaged in the way that I like to do that? Which, personally, for me, is making sure that you're entertained. The other thing that I felt yesterday after this is I felt really ecstatic. I felt really happy, like this is a thing that I've been waiting to do for a really long time, and it's done, and it still feels good, and it still feels right, because I'm sort of like waiting for that other feeling too, like, was that the right thing? Is this the right path? I just told the entire world that my goal is to be the best motivational speaker in the world. Is that really true? Does that still feel true in my body? It does. Thank God it does, because that would have been a big statement to then the next day go, maybe that's not what I'm what I'm here to do. And then the final feel was something that my daughter brought up with me last night. It's 9 o'clock at night, and she mentioned, it feels like you're kind of workaholicing. And so I've been going through recovery and my addiction with my family, and so we have language around this. And so I my coach, one of my coaches, said to me once, she said, Mary, you are in active addiction. And the way that I know that you're in active addiction right now is because you are sacrificing all of your family time, all of your connection time in your relationships in pursuit of this thing. So this thing could be alcohol, it could be work, it could be whatever. Insert addiction here, right? If there's a bracket, like insert addiction here. And I do have an addiction to work, and I do have an addiction to driving something and seeing something go forward and all of the things that come along with that. So when she said that, my response wasn't so positive. I'm like, well, today was kind of a big day. Like I had to work the days leading up to this and today, because what week is it? It's Father's Day weekend, and I spent Father's Day working on this. I did take some time off, but I spent Father's Day working on this. I spent Saturday working on this. I spent months working on this. That's the truth, to get to yesterday. And the other truth is I've been trying to figure out what I was going to say yesterday for months, and it only finally solidified on Friday, last Friday. I want to say it was like the 19th, of what I wanted to say to you on Monday. So that meant that I had to kick it into high gear. That's nice. There's a tree trimmer going through our alleyway, and my dog is just making sure everyone knows that there's a tree trimmer going through the driveway. Come here, Mac. Good job, buddy. So I realized this morning when I woke up, and like I woke up to all these messages and all this feedback, and I was just like instantly sucked in. And I was not doing, I have a routine in the morning, and my routine in the morning is like 4 or 5 hours of self-care, workout, go for a walk, Bible, read the Bible, pray, write. I mean, and I'm not doing that because I learned that. And so I realized there's a miracle morning and there's a book about it. And I think that's great. So I probably go read that book. This is just what I do for my own sanity. And I've discovered that if I don't do that, I don't have a really great foundation to the day. And so instead of this morning doing that, which is something that I do very consistently, this morning I was like sucked into my phone, and I was sucked into, just all of the stuff that the analytics, the messages, the positive feedback, which is very addicting. It taps into that very addicted mind. So what I'm realizing is that I need to find balance today and not do that. But I did commit to making this video, so I'm making this video for you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the rest of this day, because I have worked endlessly for days and days, and 18 hours yesterday, and I'm going to take the rest of the day with my family. Leading up to this event, my friend Sarah told me, she's like, you should really document more of that, because there's a lot that went on to getting to yesterday. And people only ever see like what happens the day of, but they don't see the preparation work. And I can't tell you how many times I wrote out what I was going to say and then basically crumpled it up and threw it aside. Wrote it, crumpled it, threw it aside. I must have done that 100 times between when I first put this on the calendar to actually delivering it yesterday. But also like what was going on in my family. So like I had to delegate there's a lot of stuff I do on the weekend to take care of my family and make sure that our home is ready for the next week, and groceries and Costco and laundry and all the stuff that I do that I really enjoy doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do that this weekend because I got to be laser focused on this thing. So I delegated all that stuff. And just there's a journey with that. Just learning how to balance these things and the needs of my family and my husband, who is like father of the year and deserves all my love and attention. And instead, I'm like, and my son, who's a really incredible father. And I'm like, hey, it's all about me right now. So that was the stuff leading up to. So I'm not going to really talk much about it other than to say in the future, I'm going to try to share more of what happens before these talks, so that people can understand the balance of that and the process to get to that. So, how I feel now, I feel like a butterfly who just cracked open out of its cocoon. I feel that expansive and that free, and that just like I'm in a new body. Like I feel like that. And I feel like it's not, the word isn't exhausting, but imagine trying to like break free from a cocoon. Like it takes energy, took a lot of energy to deliver and get to that conclusion. A lifetime of work boiled down to a 45-minute share, and pair that with the vulnerability of telling this to the entire world. I shared with my friends this morning, I feel like that butterfly that just broke free from the cocoon. And what I need to go do right now is I need to go, like, I just floated over to like a leaf or a flower or something. And I need to just sit on it today and just let my wings just feel the sunlight and dry out. That's how I feel today, which isn't a bad thing. And I really miss my family. That's how I feel today. I really miss my family a lot. I've been very focused. And so I'm going to go see how I can fit myself into their day. I was telling my husband this morning, we went for a walk together, and I said, I think today I'm going to take the day off today. And I think that we should drive up to Flagstaff. We live in Phoenix. Flagstaff is a couple hours away, and it's cooler up there. It's going to be like 115 today or 108. I don't even know. And he's like, yeah. So, we all like have been kind of working around you and your needs, and I know you think that it's like a gift to us that you're now ready to focus on us, but you coming in and saying, I'm going to set the agenda for the day and here's what we're going to do, and planning a trip to Flagstaff is not the best way for you to share your presence with us. So I thought that's really great feedback. Thank you for that. You're right. Why don't I just ask, what do you guys have going on today? And how can I participate in that? And he said, well, I got a mirror to hang. We got some stuff to go clean out of the office. We've got my niece is coming over tomorrow. My mother-in-law, we have a doctor's appointment on Friday. Like, how can I just work myself into my family? That, by the way, that's my addiction compared to how can I just be present in my real life? Addiction is seeking excitement and something fun and adventurous. And what sobriety is being present in your real life and just enjoying hanging mirrors and making breakfast together and that sort of thing. So he also helped me come back to the center. I had a great family. Thanks for participating in this journey with me. Bye.